everybody. I am Ralph Cunningham, and this is my brother Ezra Cunningham.
How you doing?
We are, guys from True Talk on the Couch. Today's episode is a very special one. It's also it's talking about, when does spankings become abuse? And today's episode, we're going to refer to a video that you guys may have seen. If not, we're going to leave the link up there so that you guys can see it. We're not going to play it on our episode. Due to the fact I just don't want to play it, but I'll let you guys have the link so you can look at it if you want. But if you guys happen to be in a situation where you are witnessing a witness to abuse or know somebody that may be abused, help that person out. Call social services, call CPS, dial 911. Don't just stand there and videotape it and let it just, throw it up on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and then, act like you've done your job.
Yeah, because you haven't at all.
Exactly. You haven't done anything. So, really do that. Every child deserves a chance to, have a happy childhood life and, grow up to be, model citizens. And,
That's right.
We want to do our best to help out anybody in situations like that. So,
That's right.
Have your parents to watch this with you if you're under the age of 17. And if you're not, really think about, the subject matter at hand. Maybe you've been abused or maybe, you are doing that. If so, I hope you stop and, seek help. But as always, like I always say, it can only get better from here. And pay attention to the show. Peace, YouTube.
Peace.
Welcome, everyone, to another edition of True Talk on the Couch. I am your host, Ralph Cunningham. And as always, on my side, my brother, my main man, Ezra Cunningham, a.k.a. the Black Butterfly, a.k.a. the Blind Poet. What's up, bro?
Nothing much, man. How you doing?
I cannot complain.
That's what's
Life
up.
is good.
Sure is, man. Trying to just maintain. What's good with y'all out there in YouTube world?
What is good, YouTube?
Yeah.
I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, wonderful week, hopefully a wonderful month. It's really cold here in Indiana right now. It's about 40
some degrees.
Yeah, 40
it's
something
cold
right now.
though,
Yeah.
but it feels good though now.
That it does.
That is great. I love the cold weather, so this is just right up my alley.
Yeah. Get
Really
those
is.
Creative juices flowing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like it a lot. Today's episode that I was going to initially do was with an up-and-coming rap artist. His name is Seven.
Uh-huh.
And but due to technical difficulties that has totally everything to do with me, I can't do that interview yet. But he's on our spotlight, and as previously noted, spotlight is pretty much, if you can rap, sing, dance, country music.
Country, alternative, heavy metal. If you can do poetry, if you can dance, ballerina or classical, whatever your talent is, we want to just bring it out there to the forefront so that you can get the attention that you deserve.
Exactly.
Everybody got talent. We want to show it to everybody. So, feel free to give us a holler on YouTube, on our comments. Even send videos on our Facebook page. You could do that. Even, with our email at truetalkonthecouch@yahoo.com. And, we'll definitely put you on,
Oh, yeah. Most definitely put you guys on. So, again, what's up to Seven and his crew? And we will be getting back at you guys. Promise you that. We want to thank everybody for taking their time, out of your busy schedule, checking us out. The viewers, all the likes, all, everything. We really appreciate it. And I would say, it gets better from here. And it can only get better from here with you guys' help. So we want to thank you guys very, very much.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Today's subject is a really touching subject. It's about spankings. And when does a spanking actually turn to child abuse? Also, when is it like a person's business when a person is like when an adult is spanking their child. Is it your business to tell that parent, hey, don't hit that child, don't hit that baby? What do you think about that?
I think it's pretty much if you see a child that's being spanked. I mean, a spank to me is just like a tap on the hand or a tap on the butt or on the leg. I don't really consider that abuse.
Nothing that
but
leaves a bruise or anything like that.
yeah, well, when it comes to that, yes, I do believe that that's a little bit too far.
Yeah.
You know
No,
what
I'm saying if it leaves a bruise,
yeah,
then
leaving
yes, I can
bruises
understand
and
that.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
I believe that that's too far.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, at that point, I do believe you should step in with that
Yeah.
because you know that's taking it a little bit too far. But
Yeah.
just a tap on the hand or a tap on the butt, or no, don't do it, and sit them down somewhere afterwards.
Yeah, I think a lot of these parents, man, they get to the point where like the kids is doing something and they're frustrated. It could be just like the daily grind of the day, and they're already upset or mad, and the kid does something, and then they're angry already,
right,
and then they go in on the child.
That has happened plenty of times. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
Yeah.
I think one thing that that'll prevent like stuff like that, or malicious beating of a child, is when you just step back and don't give them a spanking, especially when you're angry. You
Yeah.
know.
Which I know, no doubt, is hard to do. Me personally,
Yeah.
I don't have children, but
I've got four
I know
boys.
that definitely is probably very hard to do when you
Yeah.
see a child like waste something or just acting just crazy at that time. You just
Racist stuff ain't
you
that
know.
bad. I mean, unless they just just doing stuff, just
just
tearing
deliberately,
up. Yeah,
just acting bad, and then you just like enough is enough,
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
So I bet it is kind of hard, but that's when self control actually has to come into play, no doubt.
You said self-control. You mean prayer first and then self-control.
Well, like I said,
Because
I've
you
never
gotta
had
pray a
kids,
lot.
so I have no earthly idea. So
you pray to God a lot. Be like, man, don't let me grab this child. God. Jesus, I'm about to. But yeah, I mean, everybody goes through that. I think one thing that I often just wonder is, like, if your child does get out of hand and you're in a public place, I've whacked my boys across the butt, you know what I'm saying, or grab them and tell them, hey, you don't want me to get down up in the store, because if you act a fool up in here, I'm gonna act a fool with you, and they'll straighten out. But when is it a person's like business to be like, hey, do you feel comfortable, like if you were to be able to see somebody just pummeling the kid, then I could see that. But just the spanking,
I mean, no, because I think 9 times out of 10, if a child is acting up and stuff like that, then maybe a slap on the wrist or a slap on the butt is what they need.
Yeah.
But I mean, not to just beat them down. I mean, ridiculously. That and you know what? You're not gonna actually see that in public anyway, especially not out where there's a lot of people. You're not gonna see nobody do that in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, still, like I said, regardless, spanking is definitely one thing. A whooping is another, and I think it also goes with the age too.
Yeah. Yeah. So what what is the age limit you think is proper to start spanking a child? I mean, I don't know, maybe 2, 3 years old.
I think 2, because you have the terrible tools.
Spanking. To
tap, because you have to think about it, from infant, when they were born all the way up to 2 years old, they were the ones pretty much in control, because when they start crying, the parents run to them.
Oh yeah.
To make sure that they're okay, so they're
yeah.
used to that.
Oh yeah.
And now that they're 2 years old, you have to break them out of that.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
hard.
that's why they call it terrible too.
And that's hard. That's hard, getting them out of that to where they feel like the world is mine and you're just somebody that's living in it.
Yeah.
I've got a 2-year-old, and that's exactly where we are. This is his world, everybody. We're just fortunate enough to live in his world.
Right.
One incident is we were out in a store, and my 2-year-old, he's acting like a 2-year-old. I mean, he's knocking stuff off the shelves, grabbing things, running back and forth, crying if we tell him no, put him in a buggy, he'll climb out the buggy. I mean, and 2-year-olds act like, 2-year-olds, But, his mom put him back down out of the buggy and let him run a little bit. And I think we're close to where they have the alcohol. And he grabbed a bottle, and the mom took the bottle out of his hand and gave him a little whack on the hand and said, "Hey, stop that." And this guy just yells in the middle of the store, "Don't hit that baby." So his mom picks him up, and starts walking towards the guy, telling him, "Don't tell me what to do with my kid. This is my son. Don't tell me what to do." So the guy, he's got like his buggy, and he's like pushing his buggy towards her, like, "Oh, okay, well, we're finna butt heads for real. So, I'm not gonna let nobody, mess with, the mother of my kids." So, I kind of, pushed her to the side, and I let him know, "Hey, this ain't the place for that. You probably don't want to, get into this. Going about your way." So, he went about his way. But, it just kind of made me think to myself, like, wow, a lot of people don't approve of spankings at all,
Right.
and like, was at his place, like, how would you guys feel if someone did that to you, out here, would you, curse the guy under the store, would you, I mean, because it looked like, seriously, he really wanted to get into an argument, you know what I mean? But like I said, I kind of persuaded him to go about his direction, and he did. But I just often, we talked about that on the way back home, what made it his business to do that, and I've seen a lot of people that, spank their kids, and people will just look at them and shake their heads, and, this timeout thing, do you think that works?
I don't think timeout does nothing but give them more time to think about some more mischief that they can get into.
That's
I mean,
what I always thought.
me personally, a timeout wouldn't have
stand
did
in the
nothing for
corner
me.
stuff?
Stand in the corner don't mean
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
You can stand there for 5 minutes. Okay, you done. You can sit down and do what you want to, and they go right back at what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So, me on the timeout thing, I've never liked that. If I was to have children, I'm not putting them on timeout because I don't believe that timeout would actually work.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's other forms of discipline if you don't want to, spank your kids that you can do, like taking things away from them.
Yeah, but does that work?
I think
I mean,
it does.
sending a person to bed, like, okay, you did this and that, go to bed. I mean, like some kids take that as, well, hey, I ain't got to deal with you. I go in my room.
Well, who's to say that you're going to let them go to bed? They could just sit
Well, I mean, go
on
to
the
your
bed
room, go
and
to bed.
No, you can have them just sit on the bed and just sit there.
Okay, so you're going to sit, while they're sitting on the bed, you're going to just stand there and watch them, making sure they're just sitting there?
Yeah, come back and forth to see.
I get you.
I mean, like I said, and make sure that they're not doing anything.
Yeah.
You just sit there and you do nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And being a kid, that's some harsh punishment right there because kids are active.
Especially taking their toys away or their
taking
games
their toys
or something like that.
They're not being able to see the TV, or get on the internet, play video games. These things you're taking away from them, and you're just having them to sit down and to think. Or matter of fact, sit them down, let them read a book.
My kids love reading, so that wouldn't work for one, and especially my second oldest. In fact, I even have a story about him when he was, I believe, like either in second or third grade. He was acting up in school to the point he's really just never like that. I mean, never. So he was like acting up in school, and the principal called, and told me to come out to the school, and so I went out there and I talked to Sean, and I guess I made the mistake of saying, hey Sean, when you get home, I'm gonna give you a spanking. Well, Sean got home, yeah, I gave him a spanking, but she called the police on me. So, I'm thinking to myself, wow, for real, you're going to call the police because I said I'm going to give my child a spanking. And I gave him a spanking. So, but see, that made me upset. And then I went back out to the school and I asked that principal, you know, what made her grow a brain and call the police on me. And I let her know right then and there, yeah, I spanked Sean. That's my son. And my thing is my boys, they don't get half, a quarter of the whoopings that they probably should get. I'm extremely lenient. I mean, my boys are nowhere near afraid of me. And I've seen parents that have raised their hand around their kids to scratch their head, and their kid will flinch.
I sure will.
My kids don't do that.
Yeah.
At all. I mean, my kids, they're around me so much. I mean, I'm their father, I'm their dad, but I'm their friend too. I'm all three, and and I'm happy that I'm able to do that. But that kind of really bugged me out because you're going to call the police on me because I want to discipline my child for acting up. I believe he threw a chair and then started throwing, what are those little things in the playground? The little
mulch or something.
The little mulch at his teacher. And all right, you don't think that deserves a spanking, not a whooping, not a beating, but a spanking, and I feel like if you don't correct your kids, then eventually they're going to grow up to tell you, the parent, what they ain't gonna do.
Yeah.
I mean, when is it that you, the parent, lose control of your kids to where your kids are telling you what they ain't gonna do? They start going upside your head because the lack of discipline.
Smoking and everything, and you know about it, and they're not gonna do it. And you're not gonna do nothing about it, but I'll just let them do what they want to, because I just don't want to be bothered. Well, you know what? That's your child.
Exactly. Does anybody like out there? Do you have like a healthy fear of your parent? Me personally, I had a healthy fear. It's a healthy fear of my mom, of our mom. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't afraid of her like she was abusive. My mom never. She had four kids, 3 boys, 1 girl. Never verbally, physically, mentally abusive at all. At all. My mom, she was abused as a little child.
Sure
and
was.
This is the thing that I'd like for a lot of people to know, that I know people as well as my mom, like my mom, that have been abused and would never, ever dream about doing things like that to their own children. So it's not something that's hereditary, or something like that. It isn't, because my mom was nothing like that, and she was a very, very good woman. And what I mean by healthy fear is like I was just afraid to disappoint her.
Yeah, because most of the time, she would yell at you talking about she gonna get the belt and everything.
Yeah.
And, you be nervous because you ain't trying to feel that sting.
Yeah.
But if she gives you that look of disappointment, that crushes your heart.
Oh yeah.
That crushes you more so because you know that it is went way beyond the whooping level, the spanking level, or everything.
Oh yeah.
It's just like, I'm just totally disappointed. I don't know what to say or do because right now it's just at a point of almost just disgust.
Yeah.
With what you did.
Yeah.
So
like you really let me down.
Yeah.
I would have expected you to do something like that.
Right. And I've seen that look, and it has teared me up.
Oh, man.
Because I never wanted my mama to feel that way about me.
I remember she wasn't talking to me for like 2 days.
Yeah.
I remember you went in there and talked about, please talk to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
Talk to me. Yeah.
That hurt me to see
man,
that hurt me to see that.
My mom's my best friend, so to have that, and that's what I mean. It's a healthy fear, and my boys have that, that healthy fear, of disciplining or letting me down, and that's what I'm happy that we have that type of relationship to where I don't have to punish them all the time by spanking them or taking things away from them. That I can just sit down and talk to them, and it can be just as effective.
Yeah.
So, like you said, there are other alternatives.
But see, it also goes, and not to cut you off,
No,
but
go ahead, man.
it also goes to the fact of communicating with your child.
Of course.
And that's the thing. Most parents these days do not know how to communicate with their children because their parents didn't know how to communicate with them.
I can believe that.
That's just a cycle that needs to be really broken right now.
Yeah.
Because if you don't communicate with your kid, you don't know what's going on, they are going to run wild.
Yeah.
You're not going to know who you're living in the house with. And that's a scary thing. It is truly scary.
Yeah.
And it's not saying that you have to be buddy. It's not about that. It's also being a father or a mother, but also being pleasant where that child can come to you about anything that's going on with them, and you can actually talk to them about any and everything. It's a lot of communication. I know, hey, where you going?
Exactly.
Oh, I'll be here and I'll be back later. Okay, bye. It's more than that.
Exactly.
Sit down and talk to your kids. See what's going on in their life. See what's going on when they're on the internet, what they're looking up. Ask them about what they like, what they don't like. How was their school day?
Mm-hmm.
What do you need help with, or anything like that? Do you have any questions for me? See, these are things that kids want. They want their parents to really know what's going on with them. They want that interest.
Yeah.
They really want it.
Mm-hmm.
But many people don't do that until they hit their teenage years, and it's too late. See, you need to start when they're little.
Yeah. That's our dad. He wasn't nowhere near around us at all. And then once we got older, wanted to play the father role.
And it was like, it's too late for that. It's really too late. I'll respect you as my dad, but a father, that isn't what you were.
Yeah, exactly.
I never looked at him as my father. Yeah, that's my dad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But, and I mean, I loved him. I did. But as far as like you trying to discipline me and to regulate my mind and things of that sort, you should have did that when I was a little kid.
Exactly.
Even though, my mom and you were divorced and everything like that, you still could have been in our lives. And you still could have had that role. But you didn't. So it's like, okay, it's a little too late now.
Yeah.
So,
I got a video that was handed to me on Messenger. It was of a little child getting abused by his mother. It was ridiculous. She just kept slapping the little boy over and over. I think it was a little boy or a little girl, but she just kept slapping him over and over again, and the baby was crying, and you could tell that she felt, of course, no remorse, and it was probably pleasing to her. And one of the things that also made me upset is the fact that while this abuse was going on, someone was filming it. And that pissed me off because I'm like, okay, you're going to film this. So if you film this and knowing that it was wrong, then knowingly, why didn't you call the police on her and let her know, let the police know what's going on? Because, you could tell it was being filmed. The camera dropped down and then it picked back up, and like I said, I watched up to that part, I like for a little while, and I had to cut it off because it was really getting to me. I played it for you, and before it even got to anything of what I'm talking about, we cut it off, but why is it that you think, okay, we know that the person that does this to an innocent little child deserves to get their butt handed to them left and right in prison every day. They need the same attention that they show to that child every day in prison. But what about the person that is filming such retarded stuff?
I think that they need to go to prison as well because they did not help that baby out at all.
Yeah,
They did not, and to sit up there and to film it and then try and post it, that does not make you a hero.
No.
That makes you an accessory, and that's exactly what you are.
Yeah.
You're no better than what she is because it's pretty much you're just approving it. And the lady was right there, so you know that she was looking at. She knew that she was getting filmed. She knew it. She knew it, and she didn't care.
No.
That's the type of world that we live in. That they don't care. Matter of fact, not to change the subject, but even on the news, I heard today that this lady is now in jail because she stuck her 3-month-old baby in an oven and turned it on.
So what do you think about people like who do stuff like this? Should prison and jail time, I mean, is that enough? I mean, should they, I mean, like guys, if they do that, should they, be castrated? And females, should they just have all their insides so that they cannot have kids just removed? I mean, do you think that'll be, of course, quote unquote, too much money from the state? We can't afford to do that. Blah blah blah. Yeah.
I think also they need not only that, but they need to stay away from children. I think when it comes to children, I mean their own children, their relatives, kids, any type of kids, they don't need to be around ever again because something is wrong in your head to think that that's right.
Yeah.
That baby had to be what, from 4 to 8 months old?
Maybe.
And you're like smacking him, her or him, and I mean, and you're constantly doing it. Like I said, I heard 2 to 3 slaps, and that was it. I was mad. I didn't say anything for the longest because I had to pray to calm myself down. Because I swear to you, if I was there and I saw that, I'd have probably tried to kill her. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. This is my opinion and this is how I feel. Because that is a defenseless baby.
Yeah.
It's a baby.
Yeah.
And no matter what that baby has done, that doesn't give you the right to do that to a little baby.
Yeah, I don't know how people could do that. I just think to myself, that's crazy how a person can abuse a defenseless child, even all the way up to a person that's 13, 14, maybe 15 years old. To me, it just seems it's just wild. It's really wild how a person can crush a person like that and make her feel powerless. It really sickens you. But this is something that happens way too often, way much more than what people want to actually think it does. I mean, all the time.
Day-to-day basis.
It happens all the time, and every 10 seconds something like that happens, and it's really terrible. It's really terrible, and
no doubt it's in your neighborhood.
Yeah, I hope whatever. I heard that she got put in jail or whatnot, but I hope that she goes to jail, stays there forever.
I hope she gets no leniency.
No leniency. But I hope that the little kid, the baby, I hope that they'll find a home for him or her, and just get whatever. I mean, I doubt they'll be able to remember that, but just
still at that,
just a place where the little baby could feel safe.
That baby doesn't deserve that.
No kid. And that's like our point. If you know someone that may be in a situation like that, man, help them out. Don't just film it. That stuff is ridiculous. That's the dumbest thing. Filming it ain't doing nothing. I mean, especially if you're there and you can stop this. Why don't you just stop it? Call the police and then put your hand. Stop it. That filming it and putting it up on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. That stuff. What? you know that
people watch it and be like, okay, I'm shocked and appalled by it and everything
yeah,
else like that.
and it gets
But it doesn't mean that they're gonna call.
it gets views and views and views,
And it'll go
but,
viral.
Yeah, it goes viral, but
But doesn't mean that anybody called. And that's the thing. We've come to it's now
a society to where we videotape things instead of trying to help people out.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like that's
we'll
supposed to
videotape
help.
it quick. We'll videotape it quick. That I mean, that's cool to let people know that stuff like this is going on. But I mean, we know that it's going on, and it's proof that it is going on because you do have a lot of people videotaping it. But don't just videotape it and throw it up on Facebook and you don't call the police.
You got the power to stop it.
Yeah, I mean that the power's
Stop
right
it.
there. If you're there, you see it. Do something about it. Do
Yeah.
something about it. That's ridiculous to not do something about that. So basically that is our segment. You know what I mean? It's we want to let y'all know that this is a hard this is a really touchy subject, and but I don't know a lot of people consider a spanking abuse.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Is there do you consider spanking abuse? Do you feel like spanking your child is good?
Right.
Spare the rod, spoil the
For the
child. Is
Have you been abused? Have you been abused? Have you been spanked?
or
do
have you not ever
What type
been
of
spanked?
discipline did you have when you was
Yeah,
growing
I
up?
mean, you
know?
don't even want to have to tell us that if you've been abused, but
Yeah.
just the discipline part. Like what do you think should be used? Do you agree with corporal punishment? I don't know. It's a wide range of what people think that is okay to what isn't okay,
Right.
and I'm guessing it's a pretty narrow line from spanking to abuse. So I mean, as weird as all of that I said may sound, it's actually the truth. I mean, and like I said, we would really love to have your input on it.
Yes, please.
Let us know. Have you ever been spanked? Is corporal punishment something that you figure, is something that you should do? And if not, why not? I don't know. We've been spanked. We've been spanked. My mom, she spanked all of all of the kids. Even the grandkids.
Yeah, true.
And like I said, was never abused, never. But spanked, yes. So, or given a whooping, if that's what you want to call. We've had those. So, like I said, let us know what you think. You got any more closing thoughts before we close this out, man?
Well, if you don't mind, I would like to give a shout out on this segment to a well-known medical transportation group here in Bloomington, Indiana. It is called Beloved Transportation. The founder is Dwayne Mitchell, and he's an entrepreneur. He's a good guy, a very good friend of mine's, and he does a good job. He picks up those that need medical transportation to, say, dialysis, hospitals. He does runs even inside the state of Indiana and outside of the state of Indiana.
Yeah. They do some traveling.
Yes, he does. He's a very hard worker. Him and actually his co-founder Kendra, they both they're just phenomenal people. They're very good people. He's also done like charities. He's in the community, and he's a good guy. So if you do need any type of medical transportation
Here in Indiana.
yeah, here in Indiana, he does accept Medicare, Medicaid, as well. So you don't have to worry about that as well if you're on that. You know what I'm saying? He does, and he's a good guy. He's very hospitable. He's a clean guy. He's a real good one. And like I said, Beloved Transportation is something that I use personally. So my experiences have been good, and I just wanted to say, look him up when if you're down here and you need that transportation. He's a good guy. So just want to point that on out there for Beloved Transportation.
So we would like to thank everybody once again, and also Seven and Independent Rich Nation. We're going to get at you guys with the spotlight, you know, and like I always say to everybody, it can only get better from here. Peace, YouTube.
Until next time, YouTube.